I'm Donna.
And I'm Bruce, and this is Lyrical Wisdom.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Lyrical Wisdom, where we dive into song lyrics and offer heart-based wisdom through our interpretations. If you enjoy what you're hearing, don't forget you can catch every episode of Lyrical Wisdom on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and more.
You can also find us on YouTube. Just search Lyrical Wisdom Show. Do you have a song you'd like to hear us shed some light on? You can email us requests, questions, comments to lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on a YouTube video. We'd really love to hear from you. And all requests get an episode and a shout out.
So join us every Tuesday and Friday as we dig deep and deliver our wisdom. And thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing to Lyrical Wisdom. Hello, Bruce.
Hey, Donna, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. I really, truly am. I'm having a great day. How about you?
Having just another day in paradise.
Yay.
Yeah. I'm really looking
course
forward
you
to
are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the song today because of that and for a lot of that reason.
Oh, yeah. When you can have a life that's full of paradise, yeah, I can imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope you guys too. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I hope that your life is paradise today.
Filled with joy.
Yes, yes. And hopefully our lyrical wisdom will open that up a little bit for you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what it is. It is lyrical wisdom. It's
It is. It's mainly based off of the songs that we get to read. And it's interesting, Donna. I always have these revelations doing these songs where I feel like I've heard this song before, but I didn't hear it this way now that we're reading it, on that kind of true analysis, word for word, as we read through it. And this is another one of those songs. And I think it's kind of weird how that contributes, I think, to the experience of the song is to actually know what the lyrics are, not just kind of listen to the music and dance, because that's what I've done for so long. It really kind of makes me feel like I understand these lyrics so much more deeply.
well, and that's what is also coming to my mind, Bruce, is a lot of times you say, "Oh, I know this song."
Yeah.
And then you read the lyrics and you realize you didn't know this song.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like you learn it or you understand it in a new way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even though you know the lyrics, you don't know until you kind of take a moment to sit with them and ponder them and discuss. That's what I love about this, Bruce.
Me too.
I love taking these moments with you and just shedding light and understanding in different ways with lyrics of songs that we know.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
to discover, wow, I really didn't know this song.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I know
Yeah.
I always feel like that. And that's another thing that to just throw this in there too, that, in order to learn more about something, you kind of have to make that leap. You kind of have to say, all right, no, you know what? This is my experience. I'm the one that's creating this. I get to say what this is going to be, and that's going to be like, let me just kind of run with taking the bull by the horns, to use a metaphor or example, or cliche, and just kind of like really kind of seize the day, carpe diem, and declare it as loud as I can, like this is my experience, in a beautiful, beautiful way. And I really feel like that's what that's what we're going to talk about today too. You know,
Oh, yes, Bruce, because this is such an iconic song in that way
yeah, yeah.
of taking the bull by the horns and saying, I'm going to create my life. I'm
And
going
and
to, yeah,
and it doesn't have to be necessarily like how, in some cases there's a little bit of a, well, there's always a process of learning something and becoming something that makes you feel like you are gonna, kind of challenge your own confidence and
mm,
put yourself in that moment where it can be challenged because it's not just good for you in a way that increases like career or job or this. It's also something that you learn something from because that's the part that makes it that much more fulfilling, whether there's success or failure, if you will, to use those words, for what they need to be. But yeah, I
right,
feel like it's like, it can start with the small steps. Usually the ones that make the biggest difference are the very first ones that somebody takes and then keeps stepping, every single little step along the way of whatever they choose to do. And it doesn't have to be like that big grand, you know, kind of
right.
kind of moment. Thank you. Yeah, it
Yeah,
just it really can be something that is just those little things that take you in that direction that you feel like you are vibrating towards.
yeah. Yeah. I just had a thought when you said that, Bruce, because I thought, it's just a small step. And I heard, Kennedy in my head saying one small step for man, one giant step for mankind.
Yeah,
And yeah, so let's share this with everybody and let them take that small step that is actually giant in their life.
absolutely. This is "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi. This ain't a song for the broken-hearted, no silent prayer for the faith departed. I ain't gonna be just a face in the crowd. You're gonna hear my voice when I shout it out loud. It's my life. It's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live while I'm alive. It's my life. My heart is like the open highway. Like Frankie said, I did it my way. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life. This is for the ones who stood their ground. It's for Tommy and Gina who never back down. Tomorrow's getting harder, make no mistake. Luck ain't enough. You've got to make your own breaks. It's my life. It is now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life. My heart is like the open highway. Like Frankie said, I did it my way. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life. You better stand tall when they're calling you out. Don't bend, don't break, baby, don't back down. It's my life. It's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life. My heart is like the open highway. Like Frankie said, I did it my way. I just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life.
Mm. Wow, Bruce, just you reading those lyrics. Wow.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you. I could feel the passion and the invitation for each and every one of you to step out and live your life. This ain't a song for the brokenhearted, no
No.
silent prayer for the faith departed. I I think that statement, the beginning of that song, is if you are in that state of just being a being brokenhearted and in faith departed. In other words, for me, those are the times when you do need to step out and start living your life.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
brokenhearted to me is someone who is just focused on their broken heart. They're not looking at who they really are.
Yeah.
They are in this space of allowing whatever it is outside of them that broke their heart to control them.
Yeah.
They are remaining in that broken-hearted state.
Yeah.
And this is, for me, the invitation to step out of it,
Yeah. I
right?
agree. I agree. It doesn't have to be, it can be, because sometimes a big grand gesture has to be made. And I say that in all the ways that it sounds, because it has to sometimes be a big grand gesture of a step in the right direction, if you will, to reward oneself by taking that step, by doing that thing that you've wanted to do, desired to do, felt inside of you, and putting yourself out there to take that step. It's all of, there are certain parts of those steps that sometimes get broken down even smaller to little intricate moments of decisions that to me embody exactly what you were talking about. And that is that, it can be deciding that you're going to go on that step, and take it, getting to that point, before this step is taken. It can be a lot of different ways of that being broken in there, and I love that about this because yeah, that isn't for the brokenhearted, for somebody that's hanging on to something, that's a healing process that was happening before. Now you're through that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there's no silent prayer, for the faith departed. And I ain't gonna be just a face in the crowd. It's really kind of leading us to say, okay, yes, you've had the pain, you felt it, and you're going to continue that, but that's going to be a part of your process of going through this, and you're going to be able to not be a face in the crowd. I'm not going to be that. I'm going to stand out and let my voice be heard, you know, when I shout it out loud. It's this kind of like, okay, like I've lived through this healing. I've come out of it now where I know where my scars are, and I'm going to keep moving through, this as I move forward because I see, how that fight to get here is, and that's what that step can be sometimes. Sometimes that very first step is deep, very
Is
deep.
the
And
realization that your broken heart is from outside of you, that you are holding this broken heart and
yes,
you have control over it.
yes,
It's that moment of realization. And so I believe, that's what he's saying.
yes,
If you don't have that realization that your broken heart is coming from outside of you and you're holding it inside, you're holding on to it, then you're not going to hear these words. You're
yeah,
not going to respond to this song in the way that it is presented,
yeah,
which is, hey, it's my life.
yes,
It's my life. In other
yeah,
words, you're not going to break my heart anymore. I'm
no,
not going to feel this brokenhearted.
No.
I'm not going to, no silent prayer for the faith departed. This is not God outside of you coming in to rescue you.
Yeah.
The faith departed, I don't, it's, I, a lot of times in our life, because I know, Bruce, I know you've been there, I know I've been there, and I know each and every one of you have been there. There are times when you're in your life, when you're in this moment, and you're like, why is God letting this happen to me? And that is that moment of your faith departing
Yeah.
because you are giving your power away to something outside of you.
Yeah.
The God is within you,
Yeah.
and therefore it's in that moment of realization that Bon Jovi is inviting us to step into by saying it's my life.
Yeah. I agree. It's a complete like kind of wonderful way of giving somebody a hug, because I really feel like that. There's some things about it that kind of, say, hey, yeah, this is something that could have happened. Okay. Like we are human and this is how this feel and like it's now or never. I love that because sometimes when you're right at that moment where it's like that deep knowing. That's what I was saying. And you hit it so well. It's so deep because you just know that you can't go any lower. You can
I
only
was going to
step.
say, yeah, rock bottom. This is,
Yeah.
he's saying, this is not the kind of song for some, it's, you're at rock bottom. And this song is, for me, this song is the lifeline,
Yeah.
the hand that's being reached out to you to pull you up.
Yeah.
In other words, if you want to stay there, then this song is not for you.
Yeah.
This song is saying, stand up, recover, you know, yourself,
Yeah.
because you're going to hear my voice when I shout it out loud.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
this is that helping hand.
And it's that push. Hey,
Yes.
you are, you know, it's my life. I am going to, and I just said it. I am. You sense that to me. I think I sense that, excuse me, for throughout the entire song. It was like I am, going to and
Mhm.
just fill in the blank. And it's so beautiful like that because, it's like I'm not going to live forever. I just want to live while I'm alive.
Ah, yes. When I
You
heard
know?
you read that line, Bruce, my heart just, I was like, yes, yes, because that's when you realize it's my life, it's
Yeah.
now or never.
Yeah.
This is what he's saying. We're at that moment. I ain't going to live forever. I
Yeah.
just want to live while I'm alive.
Yeah.
When you realize that, okay, I'm brokenhearted, I've lost my faith, I'm in that place of, but guess what? You're still alive.
Yeah.
You are still alive.
Yes.
It's time to wake up, to stand up, and to realize it's my life.
Yes. Yes. And I love how, he goes on to say, it's my life. My heart is like the open highway.
Mm.
You know, I love that because it really says anything can come or go, you know? Like this is an open highway. There's a lot of, let's put quotes around this, traffic. Let's put, like let's
Yeah.
say traffic can come in or out of this open highway. It could be whatever highway you want to think of in its own way. It could be the air and the flights or on the ground, I'm thinking. But like honestly, an open highway just open either direction, all
There's
directions.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's just spaciousness.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
see forever.
Yeah.
And that is what, yeah, when your heart opens, when you step out of that space of, oh, woe is me, and you realize that it's now or never.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just want to live while I'm alive. It's my life.
Yeah.
Your heart is like, oh, wow. All of a suddenly the whole world opens up to you.
Yeah.
Like it's an open highway. That's what an open highway is. Like you said,
Yeah.
Bruce,
Yeah.
you can go as fast as you want. You can go as slow as you want because it's open. It's available to you. And then, of
Yeah.
course, he mentions one of my favorite
Yes.
singers, Frank
Oh, yeah.
Sinatra, Frankie. Like Frankie said, I did it my way.
Yeah.
And of course, it rhymes with highway, which is beautiful. And this particular song, I Did It My Way, is the whole understanding of what It's My Life is all about.
Yeah.
Because at the end of your life, when you have that moment of reviewing your life, you don't have any regrets. You realize, hey, yeah, it was messy at times.
Yeah.
I may have gotten stuck a few times, and I did it my way.
Yeah.
I did it my way. To be able to say that is what is freeing for the soul. That's what lifts the spirit
It
of
does.
understanding that I did it my way. I may have taken a little more time than other people. I may have taken a different highway than other people. And I did it my way. And it
Yeah.
was beautiful in every way.
Yeah. I agree. Every part of this was something that, it it just it makes you understand, I just want to live while I'm alive because it's my life. You know, this is what it's all saying. And that links it into that song very beautifully, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, he goes on to say, this is for the ones who stood their ground. Like, you're going to have to sometimes stand up for yourself and put your feet down and stand your ground and hold yourself. It's for Tommy and Gina who never backed down. Again, sometimes just got to hold your ground, be grounded enough to be able to hold your space and to know that you're in the right place
Yeah.
and believe it. And, because tomorrow's getting harder, make no mistakes, or a mistake. It's, kind of saying, it isn't going to get easier as you take these steps.
Yeah.
Be stubborn facing yourself because you might not want to get out of bed at that time that you set your alarm. You're just gonna, you're gonna do your best, but know that there are gonna be things that are gonna try to make you, not tackle the new challenges that you've set for yourself. And so, lucking enough, you've got to make your own breaks. And to me, that means, yeah, you've got to take that moment to like, I'm going to say, breathe like a circular breathing, because then you can
Yeah.
continue. You can take that break. You got to breathe so you can get the oxygen in your body so you can function. But then you
Yeah.
get to, ride the wave that comes with it, being able to do that because, you've got to create sometimes your own luck. You got to create your own breaks sometimes. And that's
Hmm.
tricky. And that is also a committed belief, I believe, and that's what he's saying.
Right.
Not like, it's not always the case that there's something out there that's going to intentionally try to make it easier or, excuse me, harder for you, because either one applies. However, in this case, he's like saying, hey, you got to like stand up for yourself. You've got to make yourself do this. This is
Yeah.
what you got to do to live while you're alive. And I
Yeah.
like that, and it really it really touches in some of the songs we've done in our past. But yeah,
Yeah.
it really does feel like that to me.
Yeah. And I love the way Bon Jovi weaves his songs together
Yeah,
because for a moment I had to go, well, who's Tommy and Gina? And some
yeah,
of you may have done that too, as we were reading the lyrics. Um, and what Bon Jovi does is he goes back to one of his songs, Living on a Prayer. And Tommy used to work on the docks.
oh my
Gina worked in a
gosh,
diner all day,
that's
working
so
for her
funny.
man. And they are a couple that are just being human. And Tommy has a six string on his in hock. In other words, he loves playing music, Bruce, which is like that sound. I mean, it's like everything we're talking about, but he can't play it because it's in hock right now. And Gina dreams of running away. And Tommy just says, "Hey, baby, it's going to be okay. We're going to make it someday."
Yeah,
And I think that is what these lyrics, this is, like I said, I love the way he weaves "It's My Life"
yeah,
into, hey, remember the song Living on a Prayer?
yeah.
Tommy and Gina. It's
Because
like they never backed down.
no,
Tomorrow's
it's
getting harder.
yeah,
Make no mistake. And even today, Bruce, here we are in 2026. And yeah, tomorrow's getting harder. Make no mistake.
yeah,
We are living in some very unique energies right now.
yes, yes,
And to remember who you are inside and to stand your ground is the most important thing, I believe, right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
especially to create your life, to
yeah,
make it your life. He says luck ain't enough. You've got to make your own breaks.
yeah,
And that is, I think there's truth in that.
yeah,
And the beautiful thing about it is you don't have to push because once you understand who you are inside and you begin to create from that place of, I want joy. I want I want to live life while I'm alive.
yeah,
That's, I believe, when spirit comes in and the co creative process of living divine as human takes over because the breaks that come, it says you got to make your own breaks.
yeah,
And my belief is those breaks that you make come from realizing it's my life and being in that energy of creation.
absolutely. And enablement.
In other words, they just come to you
Yeah,
because you're making them by creating them with your energy.
yeah,
We are energetic beings
yeah,
drawing to us the energy that we surround ourselves in.
yes,
And this energy of it's my life, it's now or never. I ain't going to live forever. I just want to live while I'm alive. That's how you make your own breaks,
I
in
agree.
my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
That's
I'm
my truth.
no, I'm with you. I know that, a lot of people want to, maybe because I don't know what everybody wants to do out there. I'm just going to say that like sometimes people want to fill in from my experience. I like to sometimes fill in what that could be a little bit more like directly applying to myself. Like, what is that? what is that to me? What is it that is my, my big moment or little moment or thing that, I'm going to be working on this, because it is our lives. We have like reasons to want to stand tall when they're calling you out. Don't bend, don't break, baby, don't back down. You know,
Yeah.
we have these things, that we kind of look at this and we're like, even though we are, declaring it to be our own life, like declaring ourselves to commit ourselves to this destiny journey, this thing, like sometimes I feel like it is so true that yeah, the wind is going to come along and try to blow those trees down.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it kind of is.
Amen.
And so, we have to hold on. And I wouldn't want to get too far into another Bon Jovi song, but we gotta hold on to what we got because like I mean that's what the trees and the plants are doing when the storms come. And they're,
Oh,
they're just
yeah.
trying to live while they're alive. It's
Yeah.
it's a natural, I think, organic kind of process. But for us, because we have these tools at our disposal, we can kind of make this more nuanced and apply this in a way of like, whatever that thing is, like holding ourselves to a responsibility that now we've accepted and making sure we rise to these occasions that we're called to in their own ways, or just committing ourselves to those things that are so simple to know thyself, just the smallest sometimes gifts are there. They call it the whisper when you think you're going to hear somebody shout or something like that. It's just,
Right.
if we're not careful and we don't listen to these things and kind of take those steps, sometimes we are not going to be able to live like, you know, it's now or never, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, I agree, Bruce. Yeah, because I think I know that saying tomorrow's getting harder, make no mistake, luck ain't enough. You've got to make your own breaks is creating your reality. What is your life? What is it that you want in your life?
yeah,
It's that's I think what you and I are saying is when you begin to define your life in your mind and don't back down, stand tall when they're calling you out. In other words, I know there's going to come a time in your life where people are, somebody will say, what you want to do? What? I want to
yeah,
travel the world and create retreats for people and they're like, yeah, right, or whatever. And it's like that moment of being able to stand tall when you're being called out and
yeah,
say, it's my life. My heart is like an open highway. I am open to the future of whatever is out there because when you step into that energy of understanding it's your life, the excitement takes over, I believe. Yes?
yeah. No, I'm
And
with you.
yeah.
It's,
And you begin to say, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring.
yeah,
If it's a storm, I'm not going to bend. I'm
yeah,
not going to break.
yeah,
Baby, I'm not going to back down
and
because it's my life.
yeah,
It's now or never.
yeah. I'm not going to live forever.
Yeah.
And, I want to take the bull by the horns, like we said before, and just live while I'm alive, because that is the part that, moving forward in life, that's how I think every day is. That's why I say I'm living just another day in paradise, is because I feel like I am on my pathway that way. It's a crescendo that keeps building. Who knows when it will end, but who cares? I'm just going to live while I'm alive. And I love that because, yeah, you sometimes have to hold your ground because exactly like you said, why would you do that? And there's a lot of things that come up like that, but you know, it is a really simple kind of thing that a lot of people sometimes face is a little bit of pushback because maybe, you know, you are now having that amazing release of allowing you to learn something new because it's your life and you know it's now or never. You know you're not going to live forever. You just like want to live while you're alive. And you're thinking, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to start this process. And then you get pushback like, oh, well, you know, and I just know that like that exhilaration, that amazing feeling of like finally accomplishing that first step of doing that thing. I think that's part of like, I think what you just said, Donna, and what I love about it too, because it's
Yeah.
so freeing. It's so like gift giving. It is all of those things. And, it can take a whole heck of a lot of courage too sometimes or every time. And I love that about it too, because that's another part of it is that it increases confidence while you're
Mm-mm.
pushing yourself to take these steps that may be overly challenging, but okay, hey, here we go. Let's ride this because we're going to get through it. It's now or never. I want to live while I'm alive.
Yes, yes. And it reminds me of something, and I know I've mentioned this before on this show. Um, it reminds me of something my father told me um, a long time ago. In fact, I believe I was still in high school. And he told me, you know what, Donna? It doesn't matter what you do in life, just love what you are doing.
Yes, I agree with that.
And
Yeah,
this moment is really coming through because it's my life.
yeah,
It's now I just want to live while I'm alive.
yeah,
I know that there some people reach a point in their life where they look at their job and they're like, I don't like this job. I just, they feel like they have to do it in order to survive. It's just an income for them and they don't enjoy it.
yeah,
And their heart is pulling them to leave and to do something crazy, you know, like, I don't know, open their own business,
yeah,
or,
yeah,
or, do, something crazy.
yeah,
And they take that moment to take the leap and
yeah,
say, okay, I'm going to do this. And they quit their job.
yeah,
And that's when this part of stand tall when they're calling you out.
yeah,
Don't bend, don't break, baby, don't back down.
yeah,
It it's in that moment of aligning with your heart and understanding that call, that quiet voice you were talking about, Bruce,
yeah,
within that is saying, this is where your joy is.
yeah,
This is where your happiness is.
yeah,
And that's all that I believe Bon Jovi is saying to us. It's now or never.
yeah. I
You
agree.
know, I ain't gonna live forever.
Yeah,
So it's time to take the bull by the horns, like
it
you
is.
said,
It is.
Bruce,
Yeah,
and take that step, whatever it is,
yeah, yeah,
because you are the creator of your life. And when you step into that space, I know that you began to, like I said, co create
yeah.
in such a beautiful way. And you are taken care of. Things fall into place.
It will.
Those things we were talking about, the storms, coming in and luck and getting breaks. They begin to just fall into place
They do.
when
Well,
you
and
take that step and you
yeah,
say, it's my life.
yes, yes, because I'm going to take it even a little further because that was beautiful, Donna. But I'm going to say, what do you define yourself as? And I'd like to hear any kind of feedback, honestly, because it seems a little stark to say it in those words, but that's part of, I think, what we sometimes feel like we've suddenly looking at ourselves, we're like, I define myself. This is my life. I make my definition of me. And that is what you know, right now, I need to reevaluate that. I need to find that myself in me and become grounded and connected and just feel like I now understand what is it that does not feel in harmony with what is in my life right now, you know? And that's why I say, you know, that's what we're talking about of the nuance. And I'd love to hear that, you know, like is, you know, are there people, I have a personal experience with this myself. And so, yeah, I can say, you know, sometimes things define you for what you did as a job, as a career, and that can suddenly become the definition of who you are. And, you know, have we all experienced that out there? And have any of you felt like, no, that is not all who I am. There's a lot more to me. There's a lot more nuance. This is my life and this is how I'm going to live it, you know, taking those steps to make sure that that can be. And sometimes it's hard, you know,
Yeah.
because sometimes the thing that you feel like defines you becomes your, if I may say, like the golden goose. It's going to produce the golden egg, and you're not going to have to necessarily have to think about income and things like that that we, you know, have put into this world. But it, you know, it's important, I think, to also kind of take that extra step and say, hey, you know, some of those things I believe you were talking about, Donna, so beautifully are sometimes what defines us and who is defining us. And are we defining us? Because this is our lives. This is your life. This is my life, you know?
Because I know there's lots of people out there who love what they're doing. They really,
Absolutely.
really do.
Yeah.
And we need each and every one of you. The world goes round by this type of beingness. We
Yeah.
need, we need those people in the restaurants to give us food and cook for us. And we need, the people that are on the brink of discoveries and giving us new ways of being. It's the way the world goes.
Yeah.
And I think all we're trying to say through this song by Bon Jovi is find your joy.
Yes.
Find out what it is that lights you up
Yeah.
because it's your life and
Yeah.
make it your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you love what you're doing, trust me, your life will be beautiful because that's when your heart becomes like an open highway. And at the end of your life, you can say it like Frankie said I did it my way. Because you begin to just live life the way that you want to. And I know that that is just the human beingness
Yeah.
in all of us.
Absolutely.
I just want to live while I'm alive because it's my life.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so profound in that way, you know? But yeah, I've heard this song so many times, and I now
I
have a
have
true,
too.
I've heard it so many times. I have such a deeper appreciation for it, but also for the other one that he did, just in the sense of what the lyrics are saying, you know, now that I've listened to that and I've heard those words in that way, in that context of being able to look at this, because yeah, you know, there's so much deeper in there. And thank you, Donna. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. And most of all, thank you, each and every one of you. It is because of you that I know I am. And I think you are too, Bruce. I'm doing something I love right here, right now. Yeah, deep appreciation for these platforms and this opportunity to be here now with each and every one of you. Thank you for being here on
Lyrical
wisdom.